guys, welcome back to the Blog Fuel podcast. We are on episode 35, and we're talking about something that Kirsten and I are both kind of in the middle of, something that I think is kind of important. We're going to be talking all about shifting seasons as a business owner. But first, before we dig into all of that, we have news.
We have news, and I have a shout out.
A shout out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was looking at our stats, and it's kind of cool because in Libsyn we can see what countries people are in when they listen to our podcast. So I just want to give a shout out to some of these other countries because we always, just assume that everybody's in the U.S. But our top 10 countries right now are the U.S., Canada, Germany, Australia, the United Kingdom, Singapore, South Africa, Sweden, Netherlands, and Norway. So if you were listening from one of those countries or any other country, thank you so much. I mean, that's so insane to me that people in other countries find us interesting enough to listen to.
You guys are awesome.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that Ireland is on the list. So if you're listening in Ireland, please send me an email because I will be in Ireland in June and I would love to say hi. So shoot me an email. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I don't even remember our email address. We have a new email address. What is it?
YourBFF@blogfuelpodcast.com.
There you go. Thank you. I couldn't remember it. That's terrible. Your BFF. Okay. So yeah, email me. Let me know that you're in Ireland. I would love to say hi. Or England. I'm going to be in England for a few days too in June. So hit me up.
That's so exciting. I'm so jealous.
I know. We'll have
So
a
jealous.
Guinness together. I'm so excited. I am more excited about drinking Guinness in Ireland on my birthday than any other part of that trip.
That's amazing.
That's like the highlight.
The highlight. That's all she needs.
That's all I need. I need a Guinness in a pub on my birthday, and all is right in the world. So now for news.
News.
This has nothing to do with Guinness. This actually has a lot to do with Instagram. Taco Bell. This is just a kind of interesting case study. Mm-hmm. And it shows the power of social media. So Taco Bell is using the power of Instagram to create new menu items and to promote new menu items. And it's kind of neat. So they have their test kitchen in Irvine, California. And they said that not only are they working hard to create food that tastes good, but they want food that is picture worthy and share worthy. So they take into account, and it says like the chalupa or whatever, the quesalupa that they show where they pull it apart and there's like the cheese, strings that get pulled apart. It took them 2 years to figure out how to make the cheese to where it would spread apart like that and have the strings because they wanted it to look good too. 2 years on cheese. So they actually have social listeners in their business who are watching social media like Twitter and Instagram to see what people's gripes are and what they're looking for. And they work to create food that's going to solve these problems. Mm-hmm. And when they launched the Naked Chicken Chalupa, they actually didn't do traditional advertising for that. They set up different Taco Bells around the country as a Taco Bell speakeasy, and they invited social media influencers to them. And they had all these bright lights and props and all this stuff because they wanted people to take pictures and share them on Instagram. And that's exactly what they did.
Cool.
Yes.
I love that.
It's pretty cool. I mean, they're going directly to the people. They're cutting out the middleman with their marketing, and they're going directly to the people. And I mean, they're in the article. If you look at the article, I've got it linked in the show notes. You guys can see some of the pictures that people have shared and stuff. But it's pretty neat to know that, a brand like Taco Bell is listening. They're actually paying attention, and they're really using social media in a really cool way.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting article. So it says there are people with huge Instagram reach and an affinity for Taco Bell who the chain hires as partners. And these partners are paid to post photos or Snapchats or YouTube videos of Taco Bell on their own accounts.
That's awesome.
And it says they're increasingly reaching out to micro influencers. And this is something we talked about in a previous episode, is that you don't have to have a huge following to have great engagement. So it says, people who may not have a huge social reach, but who are trusted and relevant in their communities. So it's pretty cool what they're doing.
That is pretty cool. I love it.
Pretty cool. Yeah. So I'm hoping that some other brands will take note of this and see the success that Taco Bell is having with social media and start working with influencers in a really fun way. So,
So Arby's, here's looking at you. I will totally work with you, Arby's.
Dude, Arby's, Chick-fil-A, I'm in. Yeah. Sign me up.
Sign me up.
Says it's another way to pivot away from what everyone else is doing and kind of challenge them to keep up. So it's basically Taco Bell kind of slamming down the gamut and going, look what we did. Can you do it?
Yeah. So, that's awesome.
Yep.
I love that.
Very cool. What do you have?
So mine's less fun. Like my news is a lot less fun than this because it's causing people to hurt, which I don't like. But we're going to talk about YouTube because YouTube has shifted their algorithm because why not mess with algorithms? But YouTube actually shifted their algorithm in order to do good. They were trying to minimize some of like the violent and terrorist type videos that are popping up on YouTube. The problem is that there's not an actual person that's reviewing content. It's they're bots pretty much. And because bots are not foolproof, they're not perfect for sure. It's actually hurting the reach of some of those big YouTube influencers. And the article that I'm reading, there is a person on here, David Pakman, and I'm not familiar with him, but he was making a large amount of money on YouTube doing his videos, enough to cover all of his costs and all of that. But now he's dropped down to making as little as 6 cents a day, which is a really big ouchie. And he's not the only one who is feeling that. There are a lot of people on there that are losing money on what was a profitable business just because of this algorithm change, and that it is not fine-tuned enough to block out influencers instead of the people that actually need to be blocked out.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and I read that article too, and it's YouTubers are calling it the adpocalypse.
Yeah,
because it's specifically ad content that they are removing from these videos, and the ad content is how these YouTubers are getting paid. And this guy and specifically that you were talking about, this young guy, he's built a full business from this, and he has a syndicated radio show that he also does. He'll record the audio from his YouTube videos, and that's his syndicated radio show. So this is his business.
Yeah.
And he was making enough to run the business and pay a team, and now he's making 6 cents a day. So imagine going from 20 to 30 grand a month to 6 cents a day in income as a business, not just an individual who's doing this for fun. Like, this is your full-time job, and you depend on that income to pay the bills and to pay for all the platforms you have to use to create this content and to pay for your team of people. I mean, it's really frustrating, and I'm really hoping that YouTube will step up and tweak this algorithm, because it does negatively affect people who are not doing anything wrong.
Right.
So, because this guy is syndicated on radio, he is required to follow FCC guidelines. So he's not violating those. And if he were violating FCC, he'd be violating YouTube terms of use, but he's not. And he's getting these ads removed unfairly. So it's really frustrating. And that just speaks to, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Absolutely.
Diversify your income. Don't build your platform on somebody else's platform. I hate it for these people that are getting dinged by YouTube, but at the same time, you need a backup. You need to have some kind of income that's not directly tied to a social media platform or something like that, because you never know. Look at Facebook. Facebook changes all the time.
Yeah.
And people who build their livelihood on Facebook are hurting right now.
Yep.
So
it's just unfortunate.
There's a lesson there, friends.
Yes. There is a lesson.
As we say here in the South, that'll preach.
Oh, gosh.
So that's kind of a nice little segue, though, about what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Kind of a drag that this dude is having to deal with that, but it's definitely a nice tie-in to seasons in your business. And the fact that there are definitely seasons in business.
There are seasons, and Aaron and I have both been in this shifting season with our businesses. Aaron's is they're both unintentional, honestly, just differently.
Yeah, it's just different unintentional.
Yeah, yours is unintentional for health-related reasons.
Yes.
And mine is unintentional because I'm just in a funky headspace, and I don't know why, and I can't get out of it, and it's really pissing me off. I don't know. And I know I'm not the only one, because I've talked to people who have said, like, I don't know what's going on with 2017, but I had all these huge goals and I was pumped up and ready to go. And then 2017 hit, and it's like, what the hell? What's happening? I don't understand. Yeah. It's so weird. And I know a lot of people are really feeling that. So
yeah,
that's why we want to talk about this.
Yeah. That's how I started 2017. You know how everybody sets that like one little word for the year? Mm-hmm. Mine was momentum, because last year was I was in this like season of preparing, getting all this training done and figuring out, where I wanted to go and putting together things. And I said 2017 was going to be the year that I really blew up. I was going to jump into everything. And then I was immediately hit with having to change schools for my son. And he ended up being homeschooled. So we went into that transition period, finding out from doctors that I was going to need multiple surgeries, which took a large chunk of time to get all that done. And then after all of that settled, and this is the real kicker for me that I've been kind of laughing about, even though it's terrible, everything has finally settled down from my surgeries, where I'm able to like actually sit and work again. And then my son had to have emergency surgery over the weekend. So I'm back again, like slowed back down again. And I'm going, okay, 2017, what's going on? And my refrigerator died, which is not relevant to my business, except for the fact that where the crap am I going to store my snacks? So. And
just for the record, Erin is doing very well. And so is her son.
Yes.
I know that we have people who are legitimately concerned for that, and I appreciate that very much. Yes. You guys love us, and we love you.
Yes.
Erin is doing really well. Her son is on the mend.
He's pretty much. It's amazing. He had surgery on Sunday. Sorry, my days are all confused. He had surgery on Sunday on Easter. Okay, and happy Easter. And yesterday was our first full day home, and I'm having to sit here and go, Atticus, sit down. You can't run around. What are you doing? No, you can't go outside. No, we're not playing football. You have 3 wounds on your stomach because he had his appendix removed.
Hard. It's hard to keep a 9-year-old boy down even after appendix surgery.
Yeah, I'm just like, what's going on? So he's totally fine. It was just one of those weekends where we were like, oh my gosh, And first, it was our first childhood like major thing. Yeah, because we've had no broken bones, no nothing, and and then it was like 3 days of me being awake while he's writhing in pain, and doctors are going, we don't know.
Yeah. See, that was me back in December when Mark had surgery.
Yeah.
And that whole mess of nonsense. My husband had prostate cancer and had to have his prostate removed in the middle of December, 10 days before Christmas, mind you. He had to have his prostate removed. And that surgery is worse than childbirth. I can honestly speak to that because I had natural childbirth with an 8-pound baby. And what my husband went through after prostate surgery was worse than anything I had to deal with. Yeah. It was awful.
Bless his heart.
So, I mean, that kind of kicked off my season of weirdness, was just realizing that no matter how prepared we are and how well thought out our plans are, there's going to be something that throws a wrench in those plans.
Life happens.
Life happens, and you kind of have to roll with the punches or you're going to fall flat on your face.
Yeah. It's a bummer, but it's true.
It is a bummer. And so dealing with my husband's stuff in December and all last year, really, we dealt with this. And that inspired my word for 2017, which is well. And it's just not been well. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm doing anything well.
Oh, and see,
this year.
That's part of the season, though. And this is, like, I've heard that so many times from people, but if you're an outsider, like, as an outsider, you know, as much as I am, like, close to you, Kirsten, I am still an outsider to your brain, you know? But as an outsider, I'm always like, how is she doing all of this? This is amazing.
Yeah. And see, I think that's a big part of why I'm in the season that I'm in, or I'm kind of in this transitional phase, because I do so many things and I feel like I need to really pare down a lot and take a lot of things off of my proverbial plate.
Yeah.
Because I think it's starting to catch up with me, and it's starting to really get into my head, and I'm not doing any one thing to the best of my ability anymore. Mm-hmm. So it's been a weird, I don't know. I keep, like, if you're watching the video, you keep seeing me like shrivel up into this little ball, because it's just this weird, like, I don't know. I'm not used to being here. It's very uncomfortable for me to be in this transition phase. Like, I'm go, 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 let's attack and, you know, whatever. And that's just my personality. And I've always been that way. But I don't know. I'm in this weird kind of slow, like, my business is slow right now. I'm not excited about a whole lot of things that I have in my business right now, which is a really big bummer for me, because normally I'm super passionate about every piece of it.
Right.
And right now I'm just like, meh, okay. You know, like, I don't care. I have sat down to write a blog post every week for the past 2 months, and I have not written one. I cannot do it. I cannot make myself write a blog post to save my life.
That's okay.
It's weird, though.
It is, weird. Yeah, it's definitely weird. And I think if you're listening to this or watching this or whatever, and you're hearing this, you're probably going, I know that feeling. I've been there. Mm-hmm. Kirsten is an anomaly. The fact that it's been this many years and she's like just now feeling this is like very unusual.
It is.
Weirdo.
I know. I am a bit of an anomaly, but it just, and I really hope that this humanizes both of us for people, because I'm.
Oh, you get that question, weird. Don't you? Like, all the time. Like,
oh, I do. How do you do all the things? And I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know how I do all the things. I just do them because I'm excited about everything.
Yes.
So it's not work to me.
Yes, but
lately, everything feels like work. Yeah. And it's bumming me out. Not this. This podcast, honestly, never feels like work to me.
No,
ever.
It never does. It really doesn't.
But like writing blog posts right now, even writing newsletters, which I love my newsletters, but even those, I sent Aaron a message late Friday night. I was like, dude, I'm supposed to have my weekly newsletter go out tomorrow, and I cannot freaking write a word. I don't know. I have nothing to say. Mm-hmm. And that's very out of character for me.
It really is. She normally has so much to say. Tons to say.
I normally can't shut up. No, it's weird. And, you know, I'm going to say something that's very uncomfortable for me to say, but people throw the word mentor around when they look at me. And I've never associated myself as a mentor. I don't claim to be a mentor. I don't like that word. My friend Roxana will tell you that every time she wants to piss me off, she calls me her mentor. And I'm like, I don't like that word. I don't want to be anybody's mentor. But apparently I am, and I'm trying to own it. But right now I don't feel very mentorish.
And that is so beautiful that you're able to say that, because here's the thing. Being a mentor means that you're teaching people from your own experiences in order to actually guide them and to give them what they need. You have to go through this time, this season of funk, of like uncomfortable, of just like not knowing what to do with yourself, so that when other people come to you and they're like, Kirsten, I'm going out of my mind because everything is just bleh, you can be like, girl, I got you. Like, I feel that. Yeah. So it's a totally necessary step in your growth path. And that goes for everyone here. You have to be in those uncomfortable situations in order to feel growth. And for, like, personally, my experience, and this was something that I had a very long conversation with my husband about, I haven't worked in weeks. Like, aside from the podcast, I've done nothing because I haven't been able to. And I tried for a really long time to do full-time, working schedule while dealing with surgeries and the multiple doctor visits and everything that was going on. And everybody was like, look how you're so tired, you're so stressed. And I'm like, I'd say, oh, it's the surgeries. I'm nervous about the surgeries. The surgeries came, they went, and then I didn't work. And my mom came over, and bear in mind, I just had like a major surgery, and she goes, I don't know what happened, but you look so much younger right now. And I'm like, well, it's because I'm frail. And, and she said, no, it's not that. She's like, you look so calm. And I was like, well, it's probably the Percocet, but then my husband said it too. He's like, I love having this Erin back. And I said, what Erin? What are you talking about? And he said, you're not stressed. Like I haven't seen that in so many years. And I realized like that was my growth moment was like I had turned my whole world into trying to do everything and not allowing myself that time to just breathe and to just be Erin the human and not Erin the business person.
Yeah.
So this season of crap, I'm going to call it a season of crap because it's been an awful season. It came for a reason. And I luckily was able to, listen to other people and semi-coach myself, which I'm not normally able to do. But there's a reason for these seasons that you go through, and they're important, and you should be mindful of that. Don't try to fight it. You'll fight it for a little while. I'm sure you're doing the same thing right now, Kirsten. You're sitting down like, well, I'm going to do it.
Well, I'm kind of past, because as you know, Erin, you and I talk a lot, and I've been telling you that I've been in this funk for a while. It's been a few months now. I mean, it's been pretty much all of 2017, really. Yeah,
it's crappy.
The first couple weeks were great, and then after that, it just spiraled downhill, and I am stuck. And I was mad for a while. I fought it for a while, and I would force things and still, try to create content and that sort of thing, and I was forcing it.
Right.
And it just wasn't to the caliber of my normal work.
Right.
Because it was forced. And so now I'm kind of in the next phase of this season where I'm like, okay, I'm owning it. There's something to be learned here. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm just trying to be a sponge right now for everything. Instead of putting out, I'm trying to just consume.
Yes, that's typically what these seasons mean, is finding that message in the mess. And it's so important that you allow yourself to do that in these seasons, these quiet down seasons.
Yeah. And it's stressful because I am a business owner and I depend on my business income. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I'm not producing anything to sell right now really is really scary. But at the same time, I know that if I try to produce something really great, like if I try to create a course right now, it's going to suck because my heart's not in it, and I like to give 150% to anything that I do. And I'm just not excited about anything enough right now to give 150%. I could give maybe 30%.
30%. I think you're already giving more than that, but
I don't know.
Today.
So I'm just, I'm trying to really listen to my heart and really pay attention to the things that really fire me up.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about the fact that I haven't written a blog post in forever.
Right.
And I was upset for about 5 minutes that I didn't send a newsletter Saturday, but then I got over it and I'm like, well, whatever.
Didn't happen.
It didn't happen. I'm human. It's not going to happen. And, and I've got this vacation coming up in a few weeks and I'm really excited about that. And so I feel like maybe this is just, and I'm a strong Christian. So if you guys are not, then forgive this, but I'm a firm believer that God uses these times for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I am. It's a weird place though. Like I said, it's very uncomfortable because I like to be busy and I like to have 18 things going at one time, and I'm not doing really anything right now. So it's just a weird, I don't know how to be bored. I really don't. My husband gets so aggravated with me. He's like, will you just stop and just sit down? I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to relax. I don't know how to be calm. I don't know how to not have something going.
Right.
You know, I mean, even just watching TV, I have to be working on something, and I don't know how to not do that. So
Yeah.
it's just, I don't know, it's kind of a learning experience for me right now to learn how to just be.
Yeah. This is a good time for you to pull out some of Roxana's recipes and practice with more than 5 ingredients.
No, that's stressing me out. You just don't. Cooking is not therapeutic for me.
That's so funny.
No.
No.
I did sit in the garage yesterday. My husband's been doing a lot of woodworking stuff, and he was working on some stuff yesterday, and I sat in the garage and watched my birds at the bird feeder and talked to him, and that was really nice. I didn't take my phone. I didn't take my laptop. I just sat there, and it was nice. And I'm trying to learn how to do that more often.
Right.
And just kind of be present in the moment. And
Just
that's
be
something that I'm not
Kirsten.
very good at.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like that's something that I'm trying to learn, that maybe that's what God's trying to teach me, is to just be present and appreciate just being.
Yeah.
in
Appreciate
it.
where you are.
So I don't know, but you know, it's frustrating though when you're going through these seasons because you don't know the after.
Right.
And, you know, I think just as women in general, we like to be prepared.
Yes.
You know, we like to see what's coming and plan for it and, you know, make our list of things to do to get us there. And I don't know how to do that right now. And so when you're in these seasons of uncertainty or these shifts in your business or whatever it is, it's hard to not take action, but I feel like it's best to just embrace it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Own it.
Absolutely.
It's normal. It's normal. As abnormal and uncomfortable as it feels, it's very normal.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's really important. It's really important. And it's important for you to understand that this doesn't mean that you're not a good business owner. This doesn't mean that you're a failure and that you're not going to be successful. Even the most successful entrepreneurs have their burnout times. They have their seasons where they're shifting and they're trying to grow and they're going through these uncomfortable states. And trust me, the most growth you'll make is when you're uncomfortable, because stretching is uncomfortable. This is a perfect opportunity for you to just, you know, breathe and understand why and figure out what needs to happen next. For Kirsten, you know, she says that she thinks that this is her time to, you know, learn to be more present. That's what I've been going through myself, is learning that, you know, I'm not just Erin, the business owner, juggling, you know, motherhood and a household. I'm still Erin. I'm still the same girl I was. Well, a little older, a few more wrinkles, and about 20 extra pounds. I'm the same girl that I was 10 years ago, you know, and that's okay. Ultimately, that person hasn't changed, and, you know, you have to remember to be that person still. You can't just let the success of your online business or your entrepreneurial pursuits define you, which is what I think so many of us are guilty of. And I preach about that all the time, but even I do it. You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, we just talked about this last episode. You are your brand.
Right.
And so you become your business. And that's a really dangerous thing.
Right.
Because you don't want to lose your identity into your business. You still need to be your own individual person. And I think we do forget how to be human sometimes.
Yes. Especially when we spend all of our time on a computer. I mean, I don't know what everybody is doing, but I think most people that listen to us are working online, and you have these interactions with people on the computer. You don't get to be like fully yourself with so many of these people. You don't get to be fully yourself with your readers or your customers. So it is easy to lose sight of that aspect of yourself, the human aspect of yourself, which is why when you meet people, you might say, you know, when people are like, oh, hi, how are you? What do you do? You're automatically like, oh, I'm Erin and I'm a business coach, not, oh, I'm Erin and I have kids and I like to run around and have fun. You know, like you don't do that anymore. So I think I do think and believe that these seasons are, you know, that's what it's for. Because when you put your business second to yourself, that's when your business grows.
Yeah.
Because you have to nurture yourself first. And these seasons do come after extended periods of time of just being like in that hustle mindset.
Yeah, and that's what all of 2016 was for me, was the hustle, because my business was brand new and I was building my business and working really hard to be able to quit my job last year. And when you slow down from that, it does feel like you're failing, but it's not necessarily that you're failing. It's just that you're slowing down and you're not doing the 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. hustle. I mean, that's really what I was doing, from morning until bedtime, I was working. And that's an impossible thing to keep up for anybody.
It is.
It's just unrealistic. And, people constantly are like, how do you do all the things? That's how I do all the things.
By having no life.
I work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's how I do all the things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that anymore. I don't want to be that anymore. I want my life back, but I still want to run my business. So I'm trying to figure out what that looks like. And it's a weird place to be, and it's very scary, but that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Girl, I can't wait for you to re-listen to this in like June.
Well, June I'll be drunk in Ireland.
I'm at the end of June.
Yeah. And I mean, I know from just personal experience, because we have seasons in our personal life, obviously, all the time.
Yes.
And, I know from personal experience that when you go through these seasons, there's always something really glorious on the outside.
Yes.
So it's worth it, but it hurts while you're in it. But I like to relate this to like exercise, because everybody knows how much I hate exercise. Okay.
Yes.
So just stay with me. This is the metaphor for this. When you work out, you tear your muscles, right? Your muscles tear.
Right.
And it's the tear that causes them to grow and get stronger. Mm-hmm. So if you think about that in terms of your business or in these seasons that we have, your muscles right now are tearing, and that's how you grow. And it has to hurt a little bit, because, if you work out and you tear your muscles, it's sore. You're sore the next day. You're sore for a few days, and it's going to hurt a little bit. And you might need some heating pads and some wine.
Yes.
But you're growing at the same time.
Yeah.
And you have to go through these painful periods to grow, because if you never experience anything ever, then there's nothing, like, you're never going to change. You're never going to adapt. You're never going to have a story to tell. You're never going to grow your business and learn anything new. You're just going to be stuck.
Right.
So I'm at the point now in this shifting season that I can see that, and I know that, but it still sucks to be in it.
Yeah.
And it sucks partly in a business perspective, because you have people who are looking for things from you. They expect things from you. They expect blog posts. They expect weekly newsletters. They expect this or that. And you're not giving them that. And it's really, really hard, because I feel like I'm kind of letting people down. But at the same time, I have to take care of me.
You can't draw from an empty well. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So, and
I think that's one of the reasons why when you're in these seasons as a business owner, it's extra stressful, because it's not just you going through it. You're taking all of your readers with you.
Right. In a sense,
and
you are.
It's a little stressful, to know that you have all these people depending on you or looking to you for answers, and you don't have them.
But, but on the other side of the coin here, you feel that responsibility, but there are a lot of people who look to you for advice. If you do anything online where you're giving, advice or teaching, or you're even sharing recipes, yes, you might have people come to you for answers, but you are not put on this earth. Your job on this earth is not to make sure that everybody has all their answers, right away within 10 seconds of them asking. You have to take care of yourself first. And ultimately, people are able, we're in 2017. We live in a world of technology. They can easily go and find their answers somewhere else. And they're going to respect that truth from you. Like hearing this, I guarantee you, your readers, your clients, they're going to say the same thing, that they respect hearing that, you want to be able to give your all. And if you're in a season where you can't, you're just not going to do it. You're not going to give them, a jacked up response just because you're not feeling it. You know? So you're not responsible for everybody else's success. You're responsible for yourself and your own well-being. And it's important to maintain that, like that thought
See,
constantly.
that's why I hate people saying I'm a mentor. Because when people call you their mentor, it puts this huge chunk of responsibility on your shoulders.
Right.
And I'm not prepared for that.
Right. You just have to, yeah, you have to take it for what it is that they're what they really mean is that they look to you, they admire you, and they value your experience, but that doesn't mean that their success or their growth is dependent upon you.
I know.
At the moment.
And I really do hope that my honesty in this episode is a mentor-like behavior.
It is.
Honestly, I mean, I really hope that everybody listening can kind of take away from this that we're human and we have issues just like you do. And I really, you know what I really hope from this, and this is very, I don't know, I really hope that we get at least one email from somebody listening to this episode.
Oh, I would love
that says, I needed this right
Yes.
now today.
Yes.
That's what I want. So if you are dealing with this and you are hearing us talk about this, please let us know. We're not
Yeah.
going to mention your name. We won't, you know, share any details, whatever, but we like to know, Erin and I both, when we're dealing with stuff like this, we like to know that we're not alone.
Right.
And you're probably the same way if you're listening to this, and you're probably sitting there like nodding your head like, oh my
Yes.
God, yes, me too. Yeah. So you're not alone. So email us and let us know that this has, you know, spoken to you, because that's why we do what we do. And it'll personally make me feel better this whole shift of seasons that I'm in, because I'm just really uncomfortable and fidgety right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's okay. I was feeling the same way earlier this year. I mean, there were a few points in time where I like sat down, and my husband, he's like also half my therapist, I feel like sometimes, because I'll sit down and I'll just look at him and he'll go, are you okay? And I'll just start like crying, and I'll be like, I'm so overwhelmed and I'm so frustrated and I don't know what I need to be doing now, because I feel like this is the stuff I'm supposed to do, but it doesn't feel good anymore and it feels icky.
Yep.
And you know, sometimes he'll give me that like no nonsense advice, and he'll be like, well, not everything in business is going to be fun, because my husband is a, you know, business analyst. So that's what he does. And then other times he'll like turn and look at me. And these are the times that I really appreciate him the most, is when he's just like, if it feels wrong to you, if you're diametrically opposed to this, then that's telling you something and you need to listen to it. And that's when I get clarity, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it typically takes about 47 and a half times of him telling me that before I give in. So we definitely,
It's hard. I mean, it is hard. It's really hard when you have been so involved in something and you realize that it's no longer healthy or no longer working, and you have to step away from it. Even if you're not enjoying it, it's just really hard to let go of something that you've been so involved with for so long.
It is.
So that's kind of where I am. I'm trying to evaluate things and figure out what's not working and what I can safely step away from.
Oh, that's going to be a freeing moment for you. It's liberating when you figure out what you can let go of.
Yeah.
It really is.
And like I said, right now it's the blog.
Girl,
I just don't care. I don't care.
I haven't blogged in forever, and I have not seen it hurt my business at all. But we do something different. I mean, if you guys are bloggers, if that's your main source of, you know, income is having, you know, blog posts, maybe you can't do what we do and step away from it, but you can absolutely outsource it. You can absolutely do a call for guest contributors to take some of that off of your plate, to give you some breathing room.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, depending on how long you've been blogging, sometimes you can step away from it completely, because I did. You know, I took 6 months off from Sweet Tea and Saving Grace, and my page views never tanked at all.
Mine,
at all.
You know, I haven't blogged at Sugar Crumbs in a year, more than a year, and I still get paychecks from ads on Sugar Crumbs.
Yeah, I did too, and I mean, I still do, but I'm blogging again over there. But yeah, I mean, in that 6 month time frame when I was not touching my website, I still made money from ads. Yeah. And I still got brands pitching me stuff. I'm like, I'm not blogging right now. Sorry. You know?
Yeah.
But I I was able to step away, and I needed that. And so I'm trying to remember what that felt like with Sweet Tea and Saving Grace 3 years ago, and I'm kind of applying that to where I am with Sweet Tea LLC right now. And it's funny because there's been a few, and I'll be totally honest, there have been a few moments over the past couple of months where I have thought, what if I just stop doing everything? Like, what if I just stop Sweet Tea LLC?
Right.
And I don't want to do that.
I feel like tax time is a bad time to have those thoughts.
Oh, Lord, taxes, I swear. Yeah, taxes. Ugh. I don't want to talk about taxes.
Everybody has that thought at tax time. They're like, maybe I should not do this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was talking to one of my neighbors is actually a CPA, and we had dinner with she and her family last night. And we're recording this the day after tax day, just FYI. So yesterday was tax day here in the U.S. And so I had dinner with my friend and her family, and she's a CPA. And I was like, so how are you? And she goes, oh, my God. She's like, I'm so glad today's over. I'm done. She's like, this has been horrible. I was like,
bless her.
She goes, and she knows that this was like my first official year doing self-employment taxes. She goes, how are you? I was like, I'm in debt. Thanks for asking. Like, I'm in debt to the IRS for a little while, but I'll get there. It's okay. I just, taxes suck.
I know. It's the worst.
Yeah. So I've just dropped a whole bunch of like honesty in this episode.
This is a truth bomb episode, and it's absolutely needed.
Yeah. So I'm just, I think everybody deals with this at some point, and if you haven't, you will.
Right.
And if you say you never have, you're lying.
Right. Unless you just started 3 weeks ago, and then you have no room to talk about it yet.
Right. We don't want to talk to you. I'm just kidding.
You're still in the honeymoon phase.
It's funny because there are definite phases to it, though. Like at first you're really angry and irritated and frustrated, and you do try to force all the things, and it's just not working. And then you kind of come to this point where it's like, okay, I can't keep doing that. I have to just stop. And I think you have this period where you're like, I just need to quit, throw in the towel and be done. And this isn't worth it and blah, blah, blah. And then you have this clarity where you're like, okay, I'm just going to embrace it, figure stuff out. And then after all of that, you figure out whatever it was you were supposed to learn from that season. And then you come out of it and everything's glorious and beautiful and way better than it was before. But while you're in that season, and sometimes seasons last a very long time.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing. If you feel like you've been stuck in one of these down seasons for like years, that's a little scary.
Yeah. Then it's time to talk to someone and find out what you can do.
Yeah. And I mean, we talked about this, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago, there was some mom that you heard about that like sold everything to support her business.
Yes.
And she had her kids living out of their car. If you're in a season where it's either make or break with your business and you're thinking about selling your home and all of your belongings to live in your vehicle, I think you're learning the wrong lesson from that season.
Yeah, if you're going to put yourself into more pain, into a more painful situation, then you're not fixing anything. You're masking it, you're fooling yourself, and in the long run, you're really just hurting yourself further. Mm-hmm. It's great to be entrepreneurial. It's amazing to be passionate, but there is a fine line between passion and madness.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it is a seasonal thing too. So maybe the season that you're in with your life is not the right time for you to have this business. And that's what the universe is trying to tell you, and you're just not listening. So pay attention to everything. I mean, I think everything. Pay attention to everything that goes on. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Pay attention to what your friends and family are telling you, and how you feel when you're actually working on your business.
Right.
I mean, if you're dreading things in your business, that's a sign that it's probably not the right business for you.
Right.
Because if it's your own business, yes, there are going to be things about it that you dread, like taxes.
Yes.
Social media. I hate social media. I dread it. But the bulk of your business should fire you up. Yeah. And if it doesn't, it's time to reevaluate.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because again, that business does not define you.
No.
Regardless of what you think, if you think it does, I don't care how successful you are, or if people know you as that person, that business person, that's just them not knowing the true you, the person behind the business. If you are in that season that you need to reevaluate, that doesn't make you any less of a business person. It doesn't make you any less you.
And I'm a serial entrepreneur, personally. Sweet Tea LLC is not my first business. I started my first business when Marley was 18 months old, so in 2003. And I had a business for 3 years. And then I've tried different businesses that were like home sale stuff, like 31 and Premier Jewelry. And I tried 31 actually twice. And I just ended up with a lot of bags both times. No real money to show for it. But, I've tried multiple things. I tried all kinds of stuff. And so far, Sweet Tea LLC is really the only one that's stuck.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy most of what I do. But right now, I just can't do it. I can't. I have to stop for just a little while, figure out what's going on. Yeah. And I really, too, I feel like I was so busy producing things last year that I'm kind of in the season where I'm trying to consume education to make my business better. Mm-hmm. And I can't fully focus on that and still continue to produce. Right. So I'm kind of having to push pause on creating courses and blog posts and all this stuff and focus on learning, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm still trying to learn myself so that I can be a better asset to my readers and my customers. Right. And so, you kind of have to figure out what your main priority is for your business at every season and do that. And if that means that you have to push pause on other things or stop other things completely to do the things that you feel like you need to be focusing on, that's okay, because it's your business. You can do that. You're allowed. You're the boss. Yep. You're in charge.
Yes, absolutely. And pushing pause is way better than trying to keep pushing and doing all the things, and eventually, you end up putting other people off when you do that, because you stop doing it with that love and that care that you normally put out, and people start to sense that, almost that biting tone. I feel like when you're doing something that you hate, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. And while you may not normally hate it, these seasons come up, and those things that you used to find endearing are not endearing anymore. It's like getting married. All those little quirks that you liked in your spouse before you got married become super annoying when it's 24/7. So
that's hilarious. You're not talking about John. He's
no.
Perfect.
Yes, he's perfect.
Just like Mark.
That's right.
Mark's perfect. We love our husbands. We really, truly do. But they are annoying sometimes.
Yes. When you put two adults in the same household and you both are different, it just happens. And I'm sure John would say the same thing about me.
I know Mark would.
Perfect.
Mark tells me. Actually, I tell him too.
Yeah.
Just this past weekend, he was just irritating me. I don't know what it was, but he was just, and I kept getting irritated. Like, I was like really sharp with him a couple times, and he goes, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "You're just driving me crazy today. Just stop." And he's like, "I don't even know what I'm doing." I was like, I don't know. Just leave me alone for a couple minutes.
That's the plight of every husband. Because I do that to John too. He'll like talk to me, and I'll be like, "What do you want?"
Yeah.
And I am working. Like I did it last night. I sat down, and I hear from the other room, "Aaron." Yes, Aaron. What? Aaron. And I get up and I'm like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "Why are you mad?" I'm like, "Leave me alone. I'm sitting."
Our poor husbands. They have to deal with hormones.
John's got it bad right now.
Oh, I bet.
Bless his heart.
Yeah. I'll be praying for him. And there's no refrigerator.
Well, we have the little apartment tea sized one. It's like a little like short one, but that's okay.
Yeah, so Erin said that her husband actually asked her, are you sure you want to put that whole pitcher of sweet tea in there because you won't have room for food? And she's like, yes.
We'll just buy new food. It's fine. You don't want me to not have my sugar. I need my sweet tea.
Absolutely.
And he just dealt with it. He was like, oh, okay, because the past 3 weeks have been me like either real like happy or then crying over something stupid, like, when did the children get so tall? I just bought those pants. It's been a trip.
Oh, bless his heart. Mm-hmm. Poor thing.
Yeah, I'm going to make him a pie. That'll make him happy. Make him a key lime pie and he'll be fine. He'll forget.
Yeah. I think it's nice when you get to that point in your marriage, though, where you can just be that honest with each other.
Yes.
And it doesn't really hurt your feelings. I mean, Mark will just flat out tell me, he's like, you're not being very nice. I'm like, okay, so.
Do you ever feign hurt feelings, though, just to make him feel bad for saying it?
Not as much as I think the older I get, that kind of phases out. I used to.
I do.
But now, not really anymore. But you know what he does that still irritates me? And I've actually talked about this on the podcast before, and he still does it, and it drives me insane. But it's funny because I've trained him to know my look now.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I had a bag of Reese's Pieces.
Of course.
And, I've been doing the whole like smoothie thing in the morning, my green smoothies, and I've been exercising and what have you. And I go get a freaking handful, not even the whole bag. I got a little handful of Reese's Pieces, and I'm standing there eating them, and he goes, those are bad for you. I just looked at him. I didn't say a word. I just looked at him, and I put some in my mouth, and I walked away. I was like, I dare you to say something else to me. I mean,
that's
don't
rough.
Tell me not to eat something.
Yeah.
Don't talk about food to me.
Yeah. John knows my look, but it doesn't like scare him off at all. He's not at that point in our marriage. Like I still call him like a new husband because he doesn't understand that his life is at stake. Whenever he'll say something.
Like you could shoot daggers out of your eyes.
Right.
And he's like, oh, you're so cute.
He doesn't understand. No, he does even worse. He'll mock me. And like I'll sit there and I'll be annoyed and I'll have like my jaw like jutted out. That's like my annoyed face. And he'll stand on the other side of the room and he'll cross his arms and he'll go, I'm so mad. I'm Aaron and I'm angry. Like, I'm going to have to kill you one day.
There's a reason why women live longer than men.
That's right.
Because we kill them.
And that's just a season. It's just a season of our lives.
These are the days of our lives.
And this is why I want to do a marriage podcast with my husband, because I think it'd be hysterical to talk about.
Yeah, it would be hysterical.
It wouldn't.
You should do one. You should record your first episode today while there's while your refrigerator's broken, while the house is in chaos.
We really love each other. Yeah. It's so nice having John working from home all day, every day with no refrigerator.
No. You're a stronger woman than I am. So my husband works for an airline here in Atlanta. And so his schedule changes every 6 months.
Right.
And most of the time he can bid and have Saturday, Sunday, because he's worked for this airline for like 26 years. So he's like top of the food chain. But last bid, he was off on Friday, Saturday. And I wanted to murder him because I don't like him home when I'm working. I don't like anybody home when I'm working. I don't even like in the summertime when my daughter is home and I'm working. I like to work and I have my routines and I like to do things that I like to do. And I don't need people in the house telling me to do things or asking questions or I sound like a horrible person right now. I'm really not. But you get into these routines and you have this system and then there's somebody else there and they screw stuff up. It's like, I'm trying to have a conversation with a client and he'll go get ice out of the ice maker to make some tea. And it just irritates me. Like, don't you need to go fishing or something? Go fishing. Go do something.
My husband he'll walk up to me while I'm like, really deep in a project working on something. And he'll say, Aaron, It's a beautiful day outside. Don't you want to get off the computer, take in the world around you, Aaron? Or if I get a message from someone while we're out, like we'll be driving and I'll pick my phone up and I'll look at it. Aaron, why are you on your phone? We're together. We're together. You should be enjoying this ride. You don't have to work all the time. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. I don't have designated work hours and I don't have an office that I can run and escape to every day to get my work done. I work when I work and when I'm able to. Because that's what you do when you have...
Now, the phone thing is a constant source of frustration for me. Mm-hmm. Because, like you, I don't have dedicated work hours. So I do have to manage my phone.
Right.
I try to limit it.
Yeah.
Like, when we're at meals, I don't have my phone.
Oh, no.
You know, and if it's like dedicated time with my husband or my daughter,
right,
I don't have my phone.
But if we're just
Walmart, like running errands or going to the grocery store or whatever, and I get an email from a client, I'm going to read it.
Yep.
And my husband's
I've
like,
seen the world around me.
That can't wait. I'm like, no, because this pays the bills. Thanks.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just crazy.
Yeah. He even says sometimes, he's like, you're always on the phone or on your computer. I'm like, it's my job. Yes. What do you want me to do?
That's
like,
what I said.
you supported this decision. This is what comes with it.
Yep.
My whole life is on the internet. Everything I do is on the internet. So I kind of have to be connected.
John said that. He said something to me. It was like 2 days ago. And he said, well, I mean, the only way I find anything out about you is through Facebook. Like, oh, I'm sorry, but
I'll update my Facebook status so you know what's for dinner tonight, honey.
Yes.
That's hilarious. It's hard for people who aren't in it to understand it. It really is. Mark's great. Like, he's fully supportive of everything, yes. But there's still things about my business that he just doesn't understand. And
right. Yeah. Same with John.
It can be frustrating from time to time. He's like, you know, like when I was doing a bunch of webinars last year, mm-hmm. He would get irritated because the prime time for me to do webinars where more people could actually attend was in the evening.
Right.
And he's like, but that's family time. I'm like, yeah, but it's like once a month.
Right.
You know, it's once a month where I'm going to be involved for 2 hours in the evening on a weekday. So I kind of have to. This is how I'm building my business. You know, right. I have readers and customers all over the world, and there's like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning is not really convenient for a lot of people.
Right. Why do people have webinars at that time? Because they do. It just drives me nuts.
I had to do one recently. And I mean, it was a great webinar, and I'm really grateful that I got to do it, but it was at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, and we had very low viewership because of it.
Yeah. Boo.
So, yeah, I was like, yeah, it's not a good time.
No.
But, you know, and that's a totally different discussion for a different day, like doing things that are convenient for your reader or client base, not necessarily convenient for you.
Yeah. Let's add that to the list.
Add it to our ever-growing list of topics to discuss.
Yes.
So, anyway. Well, this made me feel a lot better about the season that I'm in. I feel like I had my nice little private coaching session.
Nice private coaching session that thousands of people will hear.
That's awesome. But hopefully other people going through these seasons feel the same way, like they had their own little coaching session, because
yes.
It is helpful, like I said, to know that you're not the only one dealing with this, and that you're not the only one who's ever struggled with these uncertainties in your business. And
right.
You know, you just, whether it's intentional or not, you're going to go through these seasons, and it's a period of growth. So once you get past the frustration of actually being kind of down in the dumps, just understand that there's something good that's going to come from it.
Yes.
And it might not look like anything you've ever thought it would look like.
Right. And that's okay.
But, yeah, that's okay. So you have to embrace it and just roll with it and stretch and tear those muscles so you can grow and get stronger.
Yes. And then go have some Reese's
metaphors.
Pieces.
Love good metaphors.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, as usual, subscribe, rate, review. Tell us how much you love us. If you have any ideas for topics, we would love to hear them. We're getting down to the end of season 2, which makes us a little sad.
I'm sad.
So, we are already starting to talk a little bit about season 3 and planning for that. So if you have any ideas for how we can make this better for you, please let us know, because we have, what do we have? We have 5 more episodes. That's it.
No!
No!
Now it's real. Now it's really almost over.
I know. We have 5 more episodes in season 2, and it's been an awesome season.
It really has. It's been so fun.
And I think we can go ahead and announce this. We need to start announcing this because there's only 5 more episodes.
Okay.
Episode 40, the last episode of season 2, we're going to do it live.
Yes. I'm so excited.
Yes. So we will make sure that we post date and time and all that information so you guys can participate. But we're going to do that one live on air. So it won't be on iTunes when we're recording. Obviously, it'll be on iTunes later. But we're going to record it live with a studio audience. I'm assuming in the Blog Fuel Facebook group, right? We'll do it in the Blog Fuel Facebook group, and we'll post the topic because we really want a bunch of people to come, and we want to talk to you guys and ask questions and answer your questions. And I mean, we've got a specific topic in mind, but we want to go ahead and put that on your calendar. So be prepared. I think we're going to do that we've tentatively got it scheduled for May 25th. Is when we're going to be recording that. That may change, but right now it's May 25th. So we're really excited about that.
Yes.
That'll be super fun and a really cool way to end the season with our whole community involved. So
yes, I'm so excited.
Yes. So anyway, look for that. If you're not on our email list, make sure you go to blogfuelpodcast.com and sign up for our email list, because that's where we'll be sending a lot of the information about that live recorded episode.
Yes.
So you want to definitely be down for that one. So yeah, that's it.
That's it.
We're done. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.